Hello everyone, welcome to the webinar about how to accelerate innovation simplifying Fiori and Leonardo app development with GeneXus for SAP systems. My name is Rodrigo Mendez. Let's wait a few more moments so the remaining people can join before beginning. Well, let's begin the webinar. I would like to begin this short webinar about GeneXus for SAP system by telling a short story of what our co-founders foresaw 30 years ago and got to be called the software paradox. Our founders noticed that the software systems began to be required increasingly to support the business processes and even more in everyday aspects of our lives. Therefore, we can say that software systems began to surround our lives. But nonetheless, the creation and maintenance of these systems would prove to become more complex, demanding integration of multiple technologies, such as different development languages, databases, and platforms. So, how we would be able to keep up with these changes? The question was the beginning of it all, and the answer was simple: by simplifying software development. In the software development process, we noticed that there are three actors that need to be involved in order to produce quality software. These actors need to work together and in order. First, we have the business needs of each organization, which involve the data that they are handling, the process, and the rules that they need to fulfill. This should be delivered to the users with a proper design, so the usage and the user experience is as effective as possible. And last but not least, the technology in which these applications are developed, such as the programming language, the operating system, and the database management systems. The current situation is that nowadays technology and code wins over business and design needs, bounding the speed of adoption and change of business depending on the speed on which we can change the code. In our vision, this has to change. We need to have the business need and the design system to define the technology that we will be using to build our applications and not the other way around. For this means we deliver GeneXus for SAP system. GeneXus is a multi-platform, low-code development tool that allows our developers to design a single model that will take all the business needs and provide a design in which to deliver to the users application that will run in multiple environments. With GeneXus, we can accelerate adoption of SAP technologies. We'll have 5 pillars on which we'll do this. First, we'll extend SAP S4 HANA functionalities with the use of a connector that will allow to explore the ERP system and exchange information with the application that we are developing in GeneXus. We'll be able to leverage the power of HANA DBMS by the generation of the tables in a native way. We will also be able to deploy our applications automatically to the SAP Cloud Platform and keep them running there. We'll be able to enhance the aspects of our application, enabling the use of Fiori UX design system provided by SAP. We'll be able to integrate with the SAP Leonardo machine learning services, easily generating applications that make use of artificial intelligence. How we can extend the functionality of the ERP? Through the certified ERP Connector for SAP. We have a connector that has been certified for S4 versions and also previous versions of the ERP. And the connector allows to explore the BAPIs that are published in the business object repository of a given SAP system. Once explored, they can be imported, and GeneXus will automatically generate all the structures needed for us to be able to develop in our applications, and these applications will be able to exchange information with the SAP system. We also include the native support for SAP HANA in-memory database. Among all the other DBMS that GeneXus support, now we include the in-memory HANA database management system. We will allow the developer to easily select if they want to manage the information based on columns or rows. We will also include SAP Cloud Platform as a cloud provider among the others that we have. Will allow you to deploy your application automatically to SAP Cloud Platform. We also provide the SAP design system called Fiori through a pattern that will allow the developer to generate applications for both web and mobile in a native way that will count with the user experience required to all the applications in the SAP systems. Here we have a sample of Fiori applied in web application as well as in native mobile application. We have developed a software development kit for SAP Leonardo machine learning services in a co-innovation project with SAP. This SDK will allow the developer to easily integrate with all the machine learning services provided by SAP Leonardo, including them in our modeling of the project. We also count with frameworks with several examples that will ease up the process of including AI services in our design. The retraining module is provided by GeneXus to enhance the power of the intelligent artificial models that the developer will use in the design. We also count with OpenAPI import tool, so the developer can import any published service that counts with API. How we achieve this? This is a photo of GeneXus team in the event held annually in Uruguay, in which we invite all our partners and show the news about our product. GeneXus is all around the world with offices in Japan, Mexico, US, Brazil, and in the headquarters in Uruguay. We also have distributors among the 5 continents. We count with over 130,000 community members, more than 8,000 client companies. GeneXus is being used over in 50 countries, and it has been more than 30 years enabled digital transformation. We have been called Cool Vendor by Gartner, both in Spanish Latin America as well as in Asia into 2016. Gartner also included us in their Magic Quadrant, first as niche players and then as challengers in mobile app development. We have been called this year by Forrester as the best low-code platform you never heard of. How does GeneXus work? Let me show you a series of videos describing a demo that will take place between a car parts dealership and different workshops that will issue sales orders. First, we'll begin by modeling the back-end aspect as a web application. Here we can see the GeneXus IDE, and we begin to create our project called Knowledge Base. In this knowledge base, we will be able to model all the entities required by the business need. In this case, we will model 3 entities: customer, product, and sales order. The car parts dealership will need to record every customer and have the product catalog saved in a database, and also to store all the sales order of products sent by the customers. For this, we are creating the transactions, and we are defining inside of the transactions the attributes and their types. Once the transaction is done being defined, we will begin to apply Fiori pattern. Fiori pattern will allow us to choose between a different variety of templates how we would like to visualize the information in the application. It's important to mention that all of this description will be generated using code generators and intelligent artificial algorithm into different databases or environments of the developer's choosing. In this case, we're generating for C# and we'll record that data in a SQL server. But we can change that at any given moment without impacting our model. That is one of the main values of GeneXus. Here we enable the Fiori pattern, and we are going to select how we want to visualize the transaction of sales order for our users. Here we can see that we have chosen a list report template that will show all the records with the given information depending on the attribute definition. Now we will apply the same template for product. We have a variety of templates to choose from and apply to different objects in our knowledge base. Here we are giving the name to our database, and we begin creating the tables. GeneXus is doing this automatically for us. GeneXus is letting us know that it will be creating 4 physical tables in the DBMS that we chose. Once the tables are created, we will be able to run our application and start entering data on the tables. This is how our application will look. As we can see, there is the Fiori Launchpad as the main menu, and we will be able to choose among the 3 entities previously defined. In product, we will be able to browse the product catalog according to the Fiori template selected. Here we can see all the listing of previous records entered with their attribute description and their image. As the product are linked to sales order, we have generated the sales order tab automatically, and it will be showing us the reports of which are the sales order that have associated that product. The pattern also creates the basic operations for us to handle the information, such as the update of the records, the deletion, and the insertion of new records. Going back to the main menu, we can see in the other tile that we have the list report of the customers that we have entered in our database. For the time being, we only have 1. But if we want, we can insert more with the method created by the pattern. It's important to say that This is all generated by GeneXus, in which the things you saw in the previous video. We can also update the data shown in the report by selecting which columns will be displayed and which ones will be hidden. We also have the listing report of the different sales orders registered in our system. We can access them individually. We can insert new ones, modify the existing ones, and also delete the ones that we don't need. There's also a filter in which we can search through the records, which is also generated by the pattern Fiori. All of this saves incredible amount of time for a developer, since we have to only apply the pattern and choose a template for our application. Now we have the backend application that will represent the needs of the car parts distributor among the products and the sales order. But now we would like to deliver to the workshops a native mobile application so that they can issue sales order to the distributor. For this, we will need to create a mobile application. To do so in GeneXus is very easy. We have to go to Tools, Fiori, and we have a mobile startup wizard that, following a few simple steps, will be able to create our mobile application. We can select the icon of the application that we would like to have. We can select also the splash screen that will be shown while loading the application. We can name our application and also choose if we want the connectivity to be online or offline. In the second step, we can determine whether if we want a default launchpad at the beginning, in the same way as we had in the web application, and we can choose the style of the side menu we want. In the last step, we can choose whether if we want to enable GeneXus Access Management Authentication to define users and roles for our application. If we don't select, we can choose the login design template, and if we have GeneXus Access Authentication, we would be able to choose the registered design template. For this purpose, we will only have the login template. Here is GeneXus generating automatically the mobile application. The wizard let us know that the application was generated correctly, and then we are ready to launch our application. This is how the application will look to all of the workshops that want to issue sales order to the car parts distributor. They will enjoy as well Fiori for mobile, and they will have the possibility to browse through the application the product catalog. Here we can see how we define the side menu. Once in the product catalog, we can choose how to display through templates the information in the application. And for this case, we have created the sales order issuing form. Here, the workshop can choose the date in which they will issue the sales order. And for the product, we added a cool feature that will allow the workshop to process a picture of a photo taken by the camera or in the memory of the cell phone and compare that picture of the part to all of the images stored in the backend application. For this, we are using SAP Leonardo Image Similarity Service. This service will give us the percentage of similarity matching the pictures we have defined in our backend application. This will allow the workshop employee to select the part that he wants to request in the sales order without knowing the description or the SKU. After selecting the product, he enters the quantity and then he sends the sales order. Here we can see that the sales order is being processed and SAP number has been created. This means that the order first went through the backend application, and from the backend application, it went straight to the ERP of SAP by using the connector of GeneXus for SAP system. The sales order number given is the sales order number that corresponds to sales order in SAP ERP systems. This is all for the demo. Here we can show as a bonus and another cool feature of GeneXus, which is the chatbot generation. We are able to develop applications and generate conversational flows depending on a provider of conversational flows. Here, for example, we're chatting with a bot and we'll ask the bot for the invoice status of an invoice that is stored in the SAP system. Here, the bot will detect the context in which we are speaking, and he will understand that we require the status of a given number of an invoice. So the bot will automatically launch a procedure that will check the status of the given invoice in the SAP ERP system, and it will answer the user returning the status of the given invoice. The conversational flow is able to manage a wide variety of answers and detect several contexts to improve the quality of the chatbot. Why adopt GeneXus for SAP? The best features of GeneXus is the increase in productivity, meaning more project without increasing the cost. The automation provided by the code generators and the artificial intelligence means less errors and greater customer satisfaction. It is a platform for everything, being able to exchange different resources and generating applications both for mobile and for native mobile. The rapid development provided by GeneXus enables quicker proof of concepts at a lower cost, reducing the sales cycle. GeneXus is very easy to learn, so the learning curve is minor and grants fastest adoption speed. GeneXus means greater competitiveness, more business, and more satisfied customers. My name is Rodrigo Mendez. I'm here with Eugenio Garcia, and now we will open a questions and answer space. If you have any doubts, don't hesitate to contact any of our emails. But for the time being, you can write your question down and we will answer them here. Thank you a lot for being a part of this webinar. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate, type them down, we will answer them. Fortunato made a question if we provide the SAP Leonardo licenses for developers.
No. Basically, you can build applications using GeneXus and integrate very easily with the SAP Leonardo Machine Learning Foundation services, but you need to have the access to the SAP Leonardo. But if you have a trial account in the SAP Cloud Platform, then you can try the SAP Leonardo Machine Learning services for free too. Okay, in the same trial, you can use these services. Okay, for example, I don't know, if you want to test the recognition image services, then you can use the standard SAP Leonardo service for image recognition. Okay. You don't need to pay anything to try this, okay?
Wanda, about the cost of GeneXus, I'm going to answer that question. The pricing depends on whether on which environments do you want to generate for. If you want to generate for Java, for C#, for mobile, it's you have different options of pricing. That it may be better if you write us down and we get you in touch with someone at the commercial department.
Yeah, basically our licensing model is based on developer side. Okay, you buy a license for each developer that will be using GeneXus, but for more detail, we can contact you to give you a more detailed commercial proposal. Mildred asked about a certification program. We have a generic certification program for GeneXus. Okay, for example, you can learn GeneXus in our training site, and in this site you can buy a certification. Okay, and then in that way you can learn how to develop application with GeneXus and get a certification. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Fortunato, we're seeing that you left your contact there. We'll be contacting you to follow this conversation.
Okay,
Matt, yeah, he's asking if we also include connectivity to previous versions of S4, and the answer, Matt, is yes. We support R3 with all of its versions up to S4.
Yeah, all the ECC versions too. Okay, and one thing that is very important: if you build an application with GeneXus, for example, a mobile applications that is integrated with the ACC version, okay, using the standards business APIs, then if you migrate your ERP to S4 HANA, the same application that you built in GeneXus connected with the ACC versions, we will work connected with the S4 HANA. Okay, we have recertified our connector to work with the ECC version and also S4 HANA, and of course the R3 versions too. This is very important because maybe you want to build a mobile or a web application today connected with the actual version that you are using in the SAP ERP, and then when you migrate to S4 HANA, all these applications will continue working. Okay.
Wanda, since you asked about the licensing cost, it's also important to mention that besides selling the license, we have different modes. For example, we can also lease the license for certain period of time without having to.
Mode.
Yeah.
Any other question? I think yes. No? Next webinar is we are giving all the time webinars about GeneXus and all our technologies. Then we will contact you to let you know where is the next webinar about GeneXus. Okay. Well, if there isn't any question, we can finish here. Thanks a lot for your attention, for your time. I hope we will be in contact with you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for attending. We'll keep you posted of new webinars showing new functionalities of this product. Thank you for your time.